You are 19 years old. You are sitting in a single-engine Cessna. Your hands are shaking. The instructor says nothing. He is watching you. This is your first solo flight. You have 3 hours of flight time logged. 3 hours. That is less time than most people spend watching television in a weekend. And yet, right now, the sky belongs entirely to you. Most people never become pilots. The first written exam stops them, or the medical, or the money. Flight training costs between $80,000 and $150,000 before you ever sit in a commercial cockpit. Did you know that 60% of student pilots quit before finishing? Not because of the flying, because of everything around the flying. You survive it. You always survive it. Your first job is not glamorous. You are a flight instructor at a regional airfield. You wake at 5 a.m. You earn less than a barista in some states. But you are building hours every single day. 1,500 hours. That is the minimum required in the United States to become a first officer at a regional airline. The rule was changed after a crash in 2009 killed 50 people. A crew with too few hours, too little experience. The sky has a price. It always did. At 24, you get the call. A regional airline wants you. The pay is still bad. The schedules are worse. You fly routes nobody books voluntarily. Fargo to Minneapolis, Baton Rouge to Charlotte. You eat airport food at midnight and sleep in crew hotels that all look the same. But something is happening. You are not the same person who shook in that Cessna. Your scan has become automatic. Your callouts are crisp. Your captain trusts you. At some point, you stop reacting to turbulence. You start reading it. Here is something most passengers never consider. The person flying the plane is running a mental simulation the entire flight. Not of what is happening, of what could happen. Engine failure at V1, decompression at FL 350, bird strike on final approach. Pilots are trained to rehearse disaster, every single sector, every single day. That sounds exhausting. It is. But it is also why aviation is the safest form of transport ever invented. At 31, you pass your airline transport pilot check. The examiner shakes your hand. 4 syllables, ATP. You are now a captain. Left seat, 4 gold stripes. Something shifts that morning that you cannot fully explain to anyone who has not done it. The passengers do not know your name. They will never know your name. But for the next 9 hours, 280 human lives are inside a machine you control. That weight never entirely goes away. The best captains learn to carry it quietly. The years blur. You accumulate a life measured in hours. 5,000, 10,000, 18,000. You become a check captain. You evaluate other pilots. You start to see the patterns not just in cockpits, but in organizations. Why does this airline have fewer incidents than that one? Why do crews on this fleet communicate differently? The questions pull you out of the cockpit and into boardrooms. A chief pilot, then a VP of flight operations, then a seat on the executive committee. At 52, you are named CEO. On your first day as CEO, a reporter asks you what it feels like. You think about that 9-year-old, hands shaking, throttle forward, the runway rushing underneath. You think about the crash in 2009 that changed the hour requirements, about the crews that never made it home. You think about the 40,000 people whose names are on your payroll and the 300 people sitting in the back of every aircraft your airline operates at this exact moment. You tell the reporter, "It feels like a long solo flight." You are still building hours. You always will be. Because here is the thing about aviation nobody tells you at the beginning. The sky does not care about your title. It does not care about your gold stripes or your corner office. The sky only cares whether you showed up prepared. And that lesson learned in a shaking Cessna at 19 turns out to be the only one that ever mattered.